Hey folks, today's lesson is on Unit 2, 4-7, writing linear equations in point slope form. Let's get started. Okay, point slope form, something new today. Basically, you're going to be using a point and a slope, and we're going to be writing lines again today. So we're not using slope intercept, we're using something new. It is the point slope form. So if you take a look at the key idea, the daily objective is to write linear equations of lines using point slope form. And basically you have a slope and a point. And you can write equations of lines using these 2 points. Let's get started on the key idea. Point slope form is a linear equation written in the form y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. It's considered in point slope form. The line passes through the point x1, y1, and the slope of the line is m. So in other words, the formula, so to speak, is y minus y1 is equal to the m times x minus x1, where x1 and y1 is the point and m is the slope. Let's take a look at example 1. Write in point slope form an equation of a line that passes through the point -6, 1 with slope 2/3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this slope of 2/3 and point x -6, 1, and we're going to use the formula y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1 to get our equation. So if you look at this point -6 is considered x1, and 1 is equal to considered y1. The slope is m. So our answer would be y minus the y of 1, which is 1, is equal to the slope 2/3 times x minus the x of 1, which is -6. Now, if you look at y minus 1 is equal to 2/3 times x minus a negative is to add a positive. So you can change that out to adding a positive and then circle your answer. Okay, so the point that you're given is the x1, y1, -6, 1. And the slope that you're given is the m, which is 2/3. So the equation of the line using a point and the slope, using the point slope form, is y minus 1 is equal to the slope 2/3 times x plus 6. Okay, we're going to pause the video to do on your own. Give number 1, 2, and 3 a try. Write in point slope form an equation of a line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. So we're looking again for point slope form of an equation of the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. So for each of these, what I'm going to do is put down the relationship y minus y of 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1. Okay, that's our relationship from our point slope form. So what I'm going to do is copy that, and I'm going to paste it all the way down the line here for each one of these. So as we do these together, you will notice that the point on all of these is considered the x of 1 and the y of 1. So if you're going to write the equation using the point that's given and the slope, you simply go ahead and you take your point and input it where the y1 you'd have 2. M would be -4. X minus the x of 1, which is 1. And then circle your answer. It doesn't say to simplify any further. You're supposed to leave it in point slope form. So y minus the 2 is equal to the slope times x minus the 1. On your own, number 2. Y minus the y of 1, which is 0, is equal to the slope 1 times x minus the x of 1, which is 7. So in this case, we can simplify. That will equal y is equal to x minus 7. Y minus 0 is y, and 1 times x minus 7 is x minus 7. Then number 3. Number 3, you'd have y minus the y, which is -5, is equal to -3/4 times x minus the x, which is -8. Y plus 5 is equal to -3/4 times x plus 8. So point slope form, given a point and a slope, using the point slope form, you can determine the equation of the line. Example 2, write in slope-intercept form an equation of a line that passes through the points 2, 4, and 5, -2. Okay, so they would like you to write it in a slope-intercept form using point-slope form to start out with. So you have the 2 points, and with the 2 points, we can find the slope. -2 minus 4 divided by 5 minus 2. So the slope is -6 over 3, which is equal to -2. So if your slope is -2 and you have 2 points on the line, what you can do, since we don't know the intercept, and we're not going to graph this, we can use our point slope form to determine what our equation would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here and grab this formula that we've been using, and I'm going to copy it, and I'll bring it back down to our example to use as a starting point. Okay, so what you see here is you've got your y minus the y. In this case, I'm going to use 4. So I got my slope of -2, and I've decided to use 2, +4 for that point. So I'd have y minus the y, which would be 4, is equal to the slope, and the slope was -2, times the x minus the x, which in this case is 2. Okay, that's all fine and dandy because it's in point slope form. We need to convert it into slope intercept form. And that is not too hard. We just have to solve for y, move this 4 over, do the distributive property, and simplify. Okay, so distributive property first, y minus 4 is equal to -2x plus 4 and then add 4 to both sides. And your answer would be y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. By adding 4 to both sides, you have negative 2x plus 8, and you'd want to circle that. Okay, let's move on to example 3, the word problem on parasailing. You finished parasailing and you are being pulled back to the boat after 2 seconds. You are 25 feet above the boat. Write and graph an equation that represents your height, y, in feet above the boat after x seconds. Okay, so I'm only going to need this quadrant here, quadrant 1, and I'll have to relabel the x and y axes. But as you look at this, you're parasailing and are being pulled back to the boat. So after 2 seconds, you are 25 feet above the boat. Okay, so you've got a relationship of seconds to and 25 feet. Okay. Okay, so you're descending at a 10 feet per second. So the rate that you are descending on this problem, you're descending down at a minus 10 feet per second. Okay, so I do want to make sure I have that prior to moving forward. It was actually in the book lesson. It was in the picture, so I had to stop the video and add it there. So put that down. The rate or the slope is descending at 10 feet per second. Okay, so what you have here is a point in time, 2 seconds, and you're at 25 feet above the boat. So that's your point, and you have your slope then of, or your rate, let's call it, as negative 10. Okay, so what you can do is you can write an equation representing this situation by using our relationship point slope. So again, I'm just going to grab this from this, this page. I'm going to copy it and bring it on over. So that's the relationship again we're going to use, the point slope. So the y1 in this case is 25, the x1 is 2. So let's move forward with that. So y minus the y of 1, which is 25, is equal to the rate, which is negative 10, times x minus the x, which is 2. So it says write and graph an equation that represents your height, y, in feet above the boat after x seconds. So if you look at how a graph would look here, it's going to be descending. We're going to be noticing at 225. So at 2 and then 25, let's just call it that. You're roughly right there. Is going to be this location after 2 seconds. So if you go minus 10, that means you're going to go down 10 over 1. So be right about in this area, down 10 over 1. And then you're going to be right about there when you land. Okay. So it appears you're at about 45, be a little bit above here when you're coming down. And they ask you what height you were parasailing at, and that is obtained by finding the y-intercept by setting x equal to 0. So we can do that quickly. So I go y minus 25 is equal to negative 10 times x, which is 0. I'm just going to put 0 in there, minus 2. Okay, so y minus 25 is equal to negative 10 times the negative 2, which is 20. Now, to determine the height of when you started parasailing, you would add 25 to both sides, and you would end up with 45. Y is equal to 45 feet. And if you look at our graph, we were pretty close to that when we drew our line in. Maybe we should have been a little bit higher according to that. So this question, this word problem, knowing that the rate is negative 10 and you have one reference point after 2 seconds, you're at 25, you're good to go with using your point slope relationship. Okay, let's do this on your own. Finish. We've got number 4, 5, and 6. Let's try number 4 together. Write in slope-intercept form. Okay, so they say slope-intercept. So we have to do some conversion back to our slope-intercept. But we do have 2 points that we can choose from. So we're going to start out by using point-slope form, and then we're going to convert it to slope-intercept. Okay, so first let's find the slope. The slope is obtained by taking negative 4 minus 1. And then we're going to divide it 3 minus negative 2. That's equal to negative 5 divided by 5, which is equal to negative 1. Now it's your choice as far as which point you'd like to use. I'll pick negative 2 and 1. So I'll use this as my x1 and 1 as my y1. And what I'll do is, I'll use this relationship here. I'll copy that down and paste it. So we have it right there handy. And then as we move forward with this, we'd have y minus the y of 1, which is 1, is equal to m, which is negative 1, times x minus the x of 1, which in this case is negative 2. Okay, so I picked this point. You could definitely pick this point, and you'd have an equivalent equation. All right, so what we need to do now is take our starting equation from point-slope form and convert it to slope-intercept. And we do that by adding, by basically solving for y. So do our distributive property. We got some cleaning up to do over here, and then solve for y. All right, so this is y minus 1 is equal to negative 1 times x, which is negative 1x. And then this is plus 2 because you're subtracting a negative. So it's negative 1 times 2, so that's negative 2. And then you're going to add your 1 to both sides to move it over. And your final answer then would be y is equal to negative 1x, and it's negative 2 plus 1, which would be negative 1. And then you'd want to circle that. So in this case, you're given 2 points. From the 2 points, you find the slope. And then you use the point-slope form relationship to start your equation. And then the last step is just to convert it back to slope-intercept. All right, number 5. Again, write in slope-intercept form an equational line that passes through the given points. So if you look at these 2 points, our first step is to find the slope, 3 minus negative 5, divided by negative 3 minus negative 5. And that's equal to, this is adding 5, so it'd be 8. And negative 3 minus negative 5 would be negative 3 plus 5, which would puts you at positive 2. So 8 over 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so now once you've obtained the slope of the 2 points, you then can use our relationship that we've been copying and pasting. It's always good to start with that written down so you can see where everything kind of falls into play. And as you can see, you got your y minus the y, which in this case, I'll use this first again. So I'll use this one as x1, y1. So I'll use this y as negative 5 is equal to the slope, which is 4, times x minus the x, which is negative 5 again. So I use the negative 5 point. What that enables us to do now is to convert it to slope-intercept. So this is a subtracting a negative, which means that we're going to add a positive to this, and we're going to add a positive to that. So we have y plus 5 is equal to 4x plus 4 times 5 is 20. And then to totally convert it to slope-intercept, we got to get rid of this 5 by subtracting it from both sides. And when we do that, we have y is equal to 4x 20 minus 5, which is 15. And then circle your answer. Slope is slope-intercept form at the end. So these are good practice. Let's try number 6, and we'll finish up with our on your own number 7. Number 6, again, you're given 2 points, negative 8, 6, and negative 2, 9. And you're asked to write a slope-intercept form and equation of a line that passes through those 2 points. Okay, so our first step is to find the slope. 9 minus 6 divided by negative 2 minus negative 8. So 9 minus 6 is 3, and negative 2 minus negative 8 is negative 2 plus 8, which is positive 6. So your slope is 1/2. Okay, terrific. Now we're going to pick one of these points. Again, I'm just going to stay consistent. I'll pick the first one. Again, you could pick the other point. It's just a matter of working with the equation. Okay, so what I've done here is I've pulled our relationship over again. So we've got everything ready to go. And again, let's pick this first point. So if I look at y minus the y, which is in this case 6, okay, is equal to m, which we found to be 1/2, times x minus the x, in this case, negative 8. If you simplify this down, you get y minus 6 is equal to 1/2 times x, 1/2 times a positive 8. Subtracting a negative is a positive 8. 1/2 times 8 is 4. And then to solve for y, you'd have to add 6, and you'd have it in slope-intercept form. Your answer would be y is equal to 1/2 x plus 10. Okay, last one on your own. What if, in example 3, you are 35 feet above the boat after 2 seconds? Write and graph an equation that represents your height y in feet above the boat after x seconds. Okay, so again, they give you a point 2 seconds in, you're at 35 feet. Okay. So we're going to write an equation. Okay. So it's still, the slope is still the same, which is negative 10. Okay. The the parasailer is dropping down at a rate of -10 feet per second. Okay, so we're going to use our relationship here again, which is y minus y of 1 is equal to m times x minus x of 1 to get this started. So this would be your x of 1, and this would be your y of 1. So y minus the y of 1, which would be 2, is equal to m, which is -10, times x minus the x of 1. Oh, I made a mistake there. Y minus the y of 1, which is 35. Is equal to the slope, -10, times x minus x of 1, which is 2. Okay, moving forward, y minus 35 is equal to -10 times x. -10 times -2 is +2, is +10, 20, I should say. And then to finish this off, you'd add 35 to both sides. Add 35 to this side and add 35 to this side. And you'd have -10x plus 35 plus 20 is 55 is equal to y. So as far as a graph goes, you can see the starting point up here is the y-intercept. You're going to be at 55 this time instead of 45. And it's going to be a similar looking graph going down from there. That concludes the lesson. The lesson was a little lengthy there. Thanks for hanging in there. It's 4-7, writing linear equations in point slope form. Hope you have a great day.